What is up, fabulous friends? My name is Marc Zombie, and we actually have a special guest joining us today. It's my cat, Brenda. She's going to be hanging out for the video as we talk about why I own 50 plus copies of Fractal Replication, and I just can't stop buying. Alright, so before we get into the card, I just want to reference the artwork, which is featuring none other than Amira Serrana, Flesh and Blood's next illusionist. If you're like, what? Who's Amira Serrana? Maybe check out my previous video where I break down the next illusionist that is coming to Flesh and Blood. But getting into the card specifically, Fractal Replication is a illusionist attack from Everfest that costs 0 to play. It's a red pitch, and its power and defense are equal to asterisks. When you play or defend with Fractal Replication, it gains the base abilities of all illusionist attack action cards on the combat chain. And its power is equal to the greatest base power among illusionist attacks on the chain, and its defense is equal to the greatest base defense of illusionist attacks on the combat chain. In other words, when you play Fractal Replication, you look at the combat chain and you take all of the abilities off every illusionist action card, and then you take the highest power from an illusionist attack action card and the highest defense, and Fractal Replication becomes that. And now you might be saying to yourself, Marc, Fractal Replication is unplayable. I have tried it in Dromai and Prism, and it's just way too janky. Well, that is one of the reasons why I own 50 plus copies of this card, is because I believe the card was intended for Amira Serrana, as she is featured in the artwork, and it pretty well matches the theme of this classic illusionist that just uses big phantasm attacks. Moving on to the next reason why I own 50 plus copies of this card, the potential for Fractal Replication only increases as they print more illusionist cards. Since this card copies the effect of another illusionist card, turn that out for a moment, Fractal Replication's power level can really only increase as they print more illusionist attack action cards for it to copy. Now, before you rush off to start brewing your Frightmare Fractal Replication combo deck, let's talk about some limitations with this card. Now, when I first read this card, my mind went towards these big phantasm attacks like Miraging Metamorph, Phantasmal Haze, or Spectral Rider, but the problem is you would have to have given those attacks go again. Of course, Miraging Metamorph, you can use Snapdragon Scalers, but that's one of the current limitations with Fractal Replication. So what are some of the existing lines with Fractal Replication? There's kind of like two routes you can really take where you're actually copying illusionist attack action cards, and then when you're using something like Phantasmify or Transmogrify or Veiled Intentions to turn a generic attack action card into an illusionist attack action card. Using these three illusionist actions on screen, you can basically turn a generic attack into an illusionist type with Phantasm. So that opens up lines such as Transmogrify +5 into Snatch for 9. On hit, draw a card, and you would have to use something like Snapdragon Scalers to grant it go again, but then you could follow it up with Fractal Replication, and it would actually copy the power, so it would come in for 9, and the on hit, draw a card effect. Pretty good. And moving into Magical Christmas Land, we have things like Phantasmaclasm that comes in for 9, Frightmare for 13, and Spectral Possession, which could come in for a lot if you have a ton of Spectral Shields. But again, you can't really copy these effects currently because you would have to have given them go again through some other means. Now, if you're still asking why do you own 50 plus copies of this card. I have a question for you. Do you think the price of this card will be higher or lower than it is now when Amira is added to the game? If you enjoyed the video, or Brenda, really, drop a like, subscribe. If there's any lines I missed, or if you have any comments for me, put it in the comment section, and we'll see you next time.